shit has like
it's like
we
it's kind of like we're in emergency state right now.
Yes, exactly. The Late Night Lake Show is in emergency state, and we need to call in some professional help. So we're gonna bring in, and that's how we'll introduce Jonathan. Does that work for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, I just got to find the way in the beginning because you know how I start. Welcome to the Late Night Lake Show podcast. Your hosts RJ and Danny, and then I like say a couple of things. Then I like need you to hop in and make yourself known that you're on the show, and like then we're gonna have like a quick little babble back and forth. We're like, you know what, we got to bring someone more. Okay, you got me.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, I am going to send this shit now. Why are people talking to me? Oh. jayhun247@gmail.com. jayhun247@gmail.com. Bang, 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 bang. You all good? Everything all good over there?
Yeah, man. Just another day of traffic and bullshit. But yeah, other than that, it's good.
Is that just like something that y'all got to deal with out, like just traffic and bullshit?
It just depends where you're going, dude. Like if you're going to the Bay Area, if you're going where I'm going, yeah. If you're going up to Sac, it's really no traffic. It's a straight shot. So
yeah.
Hello.
Hey Jonathan, how's it going, man?
Yes.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, Dan, right?
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Jonathan, nice to officially talk to you guys in person, or not in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, radio person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's nice to talk to you, not over Twitter as well. So I was just telling Danny that you're kind of the spark plug for the inspiration for Late Night Lake Show, and then here you are, the next episode talking about, if you're interested in starting a podcast, why don't you just start it on Anchor? I'm like, no, that's literally the route I followed. Now he's doing self-help books on his show.
Stupid.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Somewhere though. Though.
Honestly, you have to create your own legitimacy in this day and age, right? So
yeah,
definitely. So we're real quick, we were just going to run through like high level talking points of what we were going to talk about, and then I was just going to dive right into our intro. Danny and I we're gonna treat this like an emergency state podcast, and that we don't know what to do, so we're going to bring in reinforcement and a consultant in you. So sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, we're just first going to just dive into Magic Johnson absolutely abandoning our Los Angeles Lakers and just how all that went down and instant reaction and all that good stuff. Then, like we said, I sent this to you, the talk points, but talking about Jeannie, like how does Jeannie play a role in all of this? And is she actually a victim, or is she, really behind the scenes with it all? And then finally, like just dive into the Rob Pelinka and Kobe Bryant angle and how it's starting to look like that Rob's running a coup right now. So we're going to flow into all of it. And I'm going to do 2 breaks, I believe. I'll just chop out and then, cut right back in, and we'll just keep flowing with the conversation. Cool.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right. Let me
sounds good.
Wet my palate a little bit.
Yeah, let's get it. Oh, man. Jonathan, where do you live, bro?
I live in Arcadia, California, which is near Pasadena. So pretty much Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. So you're in SoCal. I'm in Northern California.
Oh, where at?
I live in the Central Valley. I live in Turlock. But
how close is that to San Jose or San Francisco?
I go to the East Bay every day for work. It's about an hour 15 to actual San Jose, that you're going like into the downtown San Jose. It's about an hour.
I see.
I would say hour 40.
Are you near Sacramento or?
Yeah. I'm more. Well, here's the thing. In Central Valley, you're like an hour shot away every direction. So I'm an hour away from Sac going north. If I go west, I'm more into Livermore and like going into the East Bay. And if I go hours south, I'm heading towards Fresno.
Gotcha. You're just making up names. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? Like fake cities. Yeah,
all y'all are making up.
Yeah, and that's the thing with SoCal, man. That's the thing with SoCal. Everyone from SoCal doesn't know anything about Northern California, and everyone in Northern California is like, yeah, the Bay Area. That's it.
It's true. It's true. And Ricky, you're still in Chicago, right?
Yeah, so all that shit's foreign to me.
You know what's funny? I still remember, I think it might have been like 2 years ago, me and Alan actually went out there to visit, and I still remember you messaging me and saying that, like, hey, I could have hooked you up with Lou Malnati. So it's funny how things come around like that.
For real. Like, I was running their social media account, and I was, like pizza, I was shitting out free pizza all over the place. So I was like, you guys were around.
What the Ricky, what the hell, man?
You didn't know that? Yeah. Past life, man.
I was out there like, what the hell? I was, man. Oh, so John, I used to live in Chicago for my life. Yeah, that's how I know Ricky.
Gotcha.
But dude, oh my. Anyway, okay, let's get into.
You ready to go, Danny? Are you good? Do you need a moment? All right, bet.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm good.
All right. Hey guys, welcome to the Late Night Lake Show podcast. It is your hosts RJ and Danny. Danny, I'm a little lost right now, brother.
I'm losing it.
A lot of stuff's going down. There's just crazy times in Lakers land. I checked outside for an apocalypse. I did not see one, but that does not mean that one's not happening currently. How's things over on your front now that the bombshells have bombed us?
I've taken cover and I've peeked out, and I think I'm doing okay, but mentally I'm in a lost state. So
that's a good way of putting it. I'm a little lost too. In fact, we needed to record this episode, but I'm a little fearful for not only our safety on the Late Night Lake Show podcast, in what direction we will go. That because Magic Johnson is only our intro to the show. We need to bring in someone bigger than us to come in and bring in a little level of clarity to the all things Lakers landscape. So we're very pleased, very happy to bring in Jonathan Hernandez from the Lakers Legacy podcast to come help us sort these things out. Jonathan, how you doing today, man?
Yo, what's going on, guys? I don't know if you heard yet, but I'd like to make an announcement on your podcast. So this is the first time anybody's hearing this, but I have decided to step down from my position as host of the Lakers Legacy podcast. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Wait a second. This is breaking news.
No, I'm just kidding. No, guys. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
This is I see what's going on.
I thought Woj bombs were bad. But man, this guy was dropping some nukes on us. I was like, oh God, Ricky, what did we get ourselves into?
You guys are Rachel Nichols, man. You guys got the exclusive scoop.
Right. It would only be fitting if you also didn't tell your co-host and you just hopped onto the show.
Yeah,
right.
I haven't. The irony.
Exactly.
The irony. He's finding out now. The irony.
No, but it's great to be on, guys. Let's do this.
Oh, thank you. Pleasure to have you. And then we had to, by the way, we shattered the glass in case of emergency, so we brought you on. We had to bring someone else in.
Perfect.
For this.
Before we hop into all of this, you guys know where to follow Late Night Lake Show podcast, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Subscribe to the show. Jonathan, where can the people find you? Where can they find your show that you are still currently running?
Yes. You guys can find us at Lakers Legacy Pod. If you want to follow my personal account, that's at JHUN88. I only tweet there when I want to talk about movies, TV shows, and show off some photography stuff, but it's a good time as well.
His personal Twitter is actually his personal life, guys. He's not always talking about basketball.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
For sure.
Very smart to split that out. But with no further ado, man, you're here to help us understand what the hell has gone down. On Tuesday, Magic Johnson stepped down as president of basketball operations before the Lakers played their last game of the season and evidently lost. But apparently that doesn't matter because the season's over. Lakers do not have a head person in charge. And in fact, it seemed like Magic decided to just do that on a whim. Jonathan, what was your first reaction to all of this? Everyone should be well up to speed about what has gone down by now, but just tell us, what was your first thoughts when you heard that?
Midlife crisis, meltdown, breakdown. What is this guy doing? Honestly, that was my initial thought. This guy went on like a 45-minute tirade, an impromptu tirade. And I don't even think he knew exactly everything he was going to spew out when he decided to call Rachel Nichols and Bill Oram and all these other media members together in the tunnel. And it just played out like a filibuster, like a really bad filibuster. Yeah. I don't know how else to describe it, but him just kind of giving, stream of consciousness and letting everybody know that I just decided to do this. Yeah. Like Dan or you said, on a whim.
Yeah. It's crazy to think. Can you imagine you're kind of fed up with your job and you feel like you can get a better job. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to leave my current job right now, not tell my bosses, but tell other people who I work with or worked with in the past that, hey, I'm free as a bird and I'm gone. Would anyone ever do that? I just want to know. Would any of you guys do that? No. I think this is one of the most unprofessional, but I feel like he gets away with it because it is Magic Johnson type thing. And this isn't the first time Magic Johnson's abruptly left. When in 2013, I believe he was on NBA Countdown with ESPN, and 3 weeks before the season, he just all of a sudden said, I'm not going to be with you guys anymore. That's one situation. Remember, he did coach the Lakers in 1996 and I think he quit a game before the season ended. So this isn't the first time Magic Johnson's done something like this. I think he's dealt with a lot in the past with the media and the criticism that he gets when he does make an announcement. But this is no excuse, man. This is crazy. This was
sure has a way with timing, huh?
Yes. This is one of the craziest things I've heard. Just all of a sudden, I'm scrolling on Twitter, watching these like games on ESPN. I'm just like chilling, and all of a sudden, it's like Magic Johnson stepping down. I'm like, what? No, this is a burner account or someone saying no. This was Adrian Wojnarowski saying this with a blue check. There was a blue check next to the account I read this from. So this was absurd.
No one had any sympathy for Magic. He said he felt trapped. He felt like he couldn't be himself. He said that Serena Williams hit him up and said, Magic, will you be on my advisory board and will you mentor me? Ben Simmons wanted to talk to Magic, and Magic said, you know what? I just can't not talk to other players. Guys, do you feel any remorse or any understanding of Magic's point of view that, hey, I'm just not having fun, so I'm going to dip?
Hey, look, it's his...
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's his prerogative to quit. I mean, we've all been there in whatever jobs we've been in where we mull it over to ourselves and say, man, do I really want to be here? And at some point, the tension is just so much that kind of just bursts forth. But so it's honestly his right if he wants to quit and he's not having fun, he wants to be happy. All that jazz is fine. But like Dan said, the way he did it was so unprofessional, so erratic. He just ended up coming off as the spoiled, entitled, immature, fickle Magic Johnson that he's shown himself to be all these years. Just because he didn't get everything he wanted, he didn't have control over everything like he wanted. I understand where he's coming from. I empathize with the feeling and sentiment of coming into a job and it not fulfilling all of your expectations. And I even understand the fact that he may have been backstabbed, and we can get into this later, right? That Rob Pelinka may have backstabbed him. Maybe he was promised certain things and those weren't fulfilled to his liking. We've all been there.
I got to touch on one thing you just said. You said that Magic almost seems like he lives a very privileged life. He did not do anything to necessarily earn president of basketball operations. And like you guys are both alluded to, that once Magic decides that I'm not really having that much fun anymore, he dips. And I don't know about you guys, but my first thing was I was infuriated that you just came in and took control of the Los Angeles Lakers, because Jeannie's father, the great late Dr. Jerry Buss, on his deathbed told Jeannie, I envision you and Magic running the Lakers side by side. So this is prophecy fulfilled. And you, 2 and some change years into this, said, you know what? I kind of just feel a little trapped. So I'm going to go back to tweeting every day really random takes about not so great NBA players. Like, I was so pissed that I had to review the next day some of my, tweets to make sure, because I was really on one, and there might have been a bebito or two,
man.
But I was like, I felt that he disrespected the name of the Los Angeles Lakers, and it's so twisted that I could even say that about Magic Johnson because he's Magic Johnson. He is the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you would think. And you guys both are hitting on the head. Like, when things aren't going great, when things hit the fan, how do you react? And this is how you're going to react, Magic. You came in, we got a plan. We're going to be back. We're going to be back. Like our intro, we're going to be back. We're going to start. You didn't get it. So this is what the job is. This is what you signed up for. The qualifications for any job is going to lay out what they expect. Okay. And if you feel like you can meet those requirements or can fulfill those, you apply for the job you get. Obviously, Magic Johnson has a little more leeway than anybody else in this world because he did play for the Lakers, the Laker great Hall of Famer, and one of the greatest players to play. But if you don't think you can do this job to the highest level you can do it, why take it? If you want to be an advisor to these players, be that. If you want to be a mentor to these players, be that. But don't go around saying you're the president of operations saying we're going to be back, trade a bunch of pieces, but make a bunch of moves that don't really make sense. You know how pissed I was watching Zubac, was it yesterday against the Jazz, just have a great game? Like, it's just like, we traded him for air. We traded him for nothing. Yeah, Mike Muscala, great. I want a guy just dragging along his body, chucking up threes. Great. That's really going to help us, right?
Wow.
It's just a lot of things that didn't make sense this season. I don't know what kind of plan this was for Magic. Was it like, okay, we can not go for a player in the summer next to LeBron this year, maybe go for Kawhi and Clay? I don't know what he was even thinking. I just feel like it's such a whirlwind of emotions and a roller coaster of this year that this was like the icing on the cake. Wasn't it?
We know what he was thinking, Danny, and we're gonna get into exactly what Magic Johnson was thinking right after this quick break. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take this into the transcription of Rick Bucher today and how he was laying out the relationship with Jeanie and Magic and how they were starting to separate. And I think that's gonna flow into the Jeanie talk. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, guys, welcome back to the Late Night Lake Show podcast. We're still bunkered down. Very happy to have Jonathan from the Lakers Legacy podcast here with us. But Jonathan, we just were diving into trying to get into the mechanics of Magic Johnson's mind. I'm a little nervous about seeing what's behind some of those doors. But leading up to that press conference, apparently what had happened was, God, I hate that saying. What had happened was
what had happened.
Yeah, Magic had met with LeBron and his agent, and they sat down and laid out the plan for the rest of the year. Rick Bucher, came on the Herd with Colin Cowherd today, pretty much transcribing what had happened over the last couple of days, information rolling out, and that Magic had went to LeBron and said, I plan on firing Luke, and I plan on separating from Rob Pelinka and getting rid of him. Magic was thinking about that. That seemed to be what was sitting on his brain, took it to Jeanie, and apparently they did not see eye to eye, which is the first time that we're hearing about a splinter in their relationship. Jonathan, I know that you're picking up on this information as it goes and everything is developing, but from your perspective and what you're hearing, how is this division between Magic and Jeanie, how do you think that actually played out in reality for Magic to step down and her not know about it, so to say?
I did not expect there to be so much bad blood between that triumvirate of Jeanie, Rob, and Magic. And, obviously caveat that that's from Rick Bucher, but we've gotten a lot of different sources over it's literally been a day, the past day and a half. You don't know what to believe at this point. All you know is that there's dysfunction up top and there's not adequate communication going on. I even read this tweet earlier where apparently Rob Pelinka would come into the building knowing full well that Magic Johnson wasn't going to be there because Magic Johnson's only there like 10% of the time anyways. And he would jokingly almost go, "Hey, where's Magic? Anybody seen Magic? Magic's not here?" Oh, okay. So, I mean, it's like what is going on? If that statement is true, then it's clear that some of the sentiments that Magic was, or what Magic was saying during his presser when he was like, "I don't like all the whispering and backstabbing going on," he could have been talking about Rob there, you know? And it's clear that these two did not have the relationship that we all thought they did at the beginning, where it seemed like these guys were the dynamic duo. And
I thought they were in love. I literally thought that they loved each other from that initial press conference. And then it came to find out, you fast forward to today, Magic didn't even know about Rob until Jeannie said, "Hey, you're going to be working with Kobe's ex-agent." What in the world? Like, they were never friends.
It's so crazy to me. And I feel like Rob Pelinka has that personality too that Jonathan was saying. You know, he'd go in and joke around. I think he rubs people the wrong way. And it's happened. And many reports saying that every time that Rob would call, you know, the people that he would be calling, other agents, other teams and GMs, would pick up the phone and literally hang up and leave the dial tone going for him to spread a message like, "We don't want to deal with you. We don't want to work with you." Yes, Rob Pelinka has done things on the agent side with Kobe. Who's done a great job over that. But when it's your first year as a GM, it doesn't go to a hot start. And it's just like when Ricky said that they start off, they might be best friends. That's off a high of signing LeBron James. And when you came down from that high, what really happened? When reality sets in and your team isn't playing the way they should be or what you expected, this is what true feelings are. And this is how they come out.
Absolutely. And I don't want to jump the gun on this, Ricky, but I think the problem stems from the very top, right? And it starts with Jeannie Buss. And it's almost like when she put Magic and Rob together, and now we're only finding this out for the very first time, but seeing it in context, it's like she's the main matchmaker. She's best friends with Magic. She's kind of best friends with Rob and their little contingent with Linda Rambis and Kobe Bryant, etc. Right. But these two are not even friends with each other. So it's like an arranged marriage, and Jeannie is at the forefront and center of both those things. And when everything starts afresh and they think they're in a good spot, hopefully going to land Paul George and LeBron James, then both those guys are going to be, like Dan said, pretty happy about everything. And they'll be yes men when Jeannie says, "This is your role, blah, 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 blah." And I'm not even sure, unfortunately, if she even did that and outlined their roles specifically enough for them, you know? And I think that's where you're seeing the disconnect, where by all accounts, the president of basketball operations is at the top, right? Then it's the general manager. Unfortunately, the Lakers aren't run like a typical normal organization. The Lakers, if you think about it, it's almost like the Lakers are it's almost like Disney being run like a mom and pop shop. And that just can't happen. You know, the Lakers are this world-renowned franchise and have been for the last 30 years. And for some reason, we're being run like a mom and pop shop while still trying to peddle off this image that we're cutting edge, we're still innovators, and we're like startup Silicon Valley, you know, like one of those businesses out there, venture capitalists. But that's not how it's being run.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to go so far as to say that this is no longer Lakers nepotism. This is, I think I would even say this is Lakers mom and pop shop. This is Lakers incest. This is arranging Jeannie Buss making Magic Johnson because she loves Magic so much, deal with Rob Pelinka because she loves Kobe so much, and marry them together. This is a shotgun marriage. All we're doing is just swimming in the same pool of Lakers love and family. And so while in one way we're a family, no. There's some freaky deaky stuff going on behind the scenes that we need to pull the curtains back on. And I think we're seeing it. Magic said he left. Magic wanted to be free, but he still loved Jeannie. Jeannie responded on Twitter hours later. And I think we should talk about the way that she responded and how quickly she responded to Magic stepping down, saying how much she loved him and that how he will always be a Laker and how they, you know, they'll always have a great relationship and thank you for the time they had together. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, no one's mad right now. That's love on a different level that I can't truly comprehend. So now I'm thinking that maybe there's some ulterior, you know, y'all drinking out the Kool-Aid together, and now we're seeing that Magic might be getting a little woke and say, I got to get out of here. I got to get out and get back to my normal self.
I don't even know how to like. Are we worse? Are we more poorly ran than the Knicks right now? Are we? Like,
that's
honestly,
tough.
Like, if you were
do I have to answer that?
I don't know, but are we? This is what I'm thinking about. And with Jonathan saying, it's like, yeah, we're trying to run the mom and pop, the family organization with the buses. I think I took it on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I just said the Lakers just need a total reset at this point. And you can still be ran by the buses, but you cannot keep bringing in these guys who you love personally on this level, former Laker greats, former Lakers, this and that. You have to start up fresh. If you're going to be a team like, I don't know, the team up north in the like Golden State, you're going to run it with some kind of venture capitalist mentality, as you were saying, Jonathan. You got to have this kind of cutting edge look and feel to your team. As much as I hate to say it, and as much as I hate to say it, to be honest, look at Steve Ballmer and what he's done with the Clippers.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not looking at shit. I'm not looking at the Clippers like that. Matter of fact, I'm going to pivot from that. Jonathan, what did you think of Jeannie's tweet in response to Magic stepping down and how quickly and how all hugs and butterflies it was? Because Rick Bucher had an interesting angle thinking that Jeannie anticipated this, not in the way that Magic did it, but that she anticipated him stepping down. How would you make of that?
I think it's very LA and Hollywood of Jeannie Buss. And I think from Jeannie to Magic to Rob, these guys know how to put up a great front and they know who they're playing to. So it was kind of expected. Reading that Rick Bucher tweet about maybe Jeannie knowing about this in advance and maybe even Rich Paul and LeBron knowing about this in advance, I can sort of maybe get behind that. I think, and Tom, my co-host Tommy actually speculated that there were probably some overtures made by Magic in the last few days, kind of hinting that maybe he's not necessarily long for the job. Maybe he even said as much like, hey, after we do this offseason and we get our second max guy or whatever, I'm probably going to fade myself out. So maybe the surprise really came in the way that he did it, and just kind of sort of abruptly. But with regards to, sorry, where am I going with this question? Like, what did I think about Jeannie?
Yeah, sorry, Jeannie's response. Did you think that was she actually just a loving tweet, or do you think that, you know, pretty much where you were going with this, that do you think she was privy to Magic stepping down, or do you think she was actually blindsided and just was showing love to Magic?
I think she was genuine with her love of Magic. And I also I can get behind, like I said, the fact that maybe she knew in advance. I think what shocked her is just the way that kind of Magic left them out to dry, like with the snap of a finger, and almost aired the Lakers' dirty laundry out. I'm surprised there was no like PR person just making sure that he didn't step out of line, because he went on for 45 minutes, and I'm surprised that he didn't reveal every single behind the door conversation that they had with other teams, players they wanted to trade, because he very easily could have gone down that route. He was already kind of off the rails talking about every person he's been accused of tampering with, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just nuts that nobody stepped in and was like, okay, Magic said he's gonna step down. We'll take questions later. You know what I mean? They just kind of let him go off the cuff, and that could have been so dangerous. But I'm kind of going off the rails here. But to answer your question, I mean, I do believe she's being genuine. I do believe that she loves Magic Johnson that much, but I'm sure internally she's like, well, what the hell do I do now? Because even though he had maybe told us this and that he was kind of going down this direction, we did not expect him to do this today after our very long meeting planning out the offseason, because now we got to scramble. So that's my feeling. Like, she was surprised. I think she still loves Magic Johnson, but now she's kind of left trying to catch her bearings all of a sudden.
Yeah,
AKA the apocalypse that we're seeing right now. Go ahead, Danny.
Exactly. No, I was gonna say that response, yes, with the dear and deep love for Magic Johnson, great, but you have to put your foot down at this point and just think of it as an unacceptable move. Like, what's the limit with Jeanie Buss at this point? Like, if Magic were to just made a boneheaded mistake in the middle of the season, oh, it's okay, Magic. It's another pat on the back. Magic does this, and it's another thing that's wrong. Oh, Magic, it's okay. Like, you can't just keep letting him do this. And I get, like I said, that's your dear personal friend, but a business is a business, man. You have to treat it like one. You can't just treat it like it's like, like we're just hanging out one-on-one. You make a mistake, and I'm trying to say I'm sorry. No, this is a business.
Jeanie handled the operation side when it was her and her brother, correct? Like, yes. Her brother handled the basketball side and Jeanie handled the business of the Lakers. Yes. The Lakers business has always been booming, even when they were struggling. But to cut your brother out and then just hire the first thing that came through the door, the first thing that's nearest and dearest to your heart. Now I'm starting to question, Jeanie, as far as your business decision-making skills, like that wasn't even a smart personnel doing your due diligence, trying to ensure that the next moves for the Lakers are the best moves. She just went out and hugged her big brother and said, come on in. There's food on the stove. Just make yourself at home. Oh, yeah, I brought another guest in. And I'm trying to believe some of these angles that the Rick Bucher saying that, oh, she's Khaleesi and that she, is always like, I have not seen one Game of Thrones episode in my life, so hopefully that made sense. But like that she's actually like behind the scenes in the real puppet master. I would love for that to be true. But what I'm seeing is that Jeanie is a wonderful, caring, wholehearted person, a great human being that might just love too hard and it may be a little too loyal. Like, you just brought Magic Johnson in, he did whatever the hell he wanted, and you are now left to pick up the pieces. In these times of uncertainty, when there is all of these apocalyptic scenes and it doesn't seem like the Lakers are going in any direction, you got to watch out for the vultures. It seems like there might be a couple of I won't call them vultures, the scavengers that in times of uncertainty come in and wreak havoc and overthrow and take charge. We're gonna get into who that might be right after the break. Man, I tried turning that one into some real big buildup of Satan's coming and Rob Pelinka.
Book of Revelations, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you feel me? Danny, why don't you bring us back? But you know where I'm going with this, going into Rob and his play in all of this.
Okay. And we're back. Welcome back to the Late Night Lake Show. As Ricky was alluding to, this is hell on earth for Lakerland. And it really is.
That's what's great.
Going on here. But as Magic's out the door, what's next? And what's next for, I don't know, Rob Pelinka? Ricky?
I don't know why he has a job still. I thought it was about to be, I just thought Jeanie was just going to empty the clip and just clean house, and we'll just start over, and it'll just be that, the end of the Fresh Prince where Will's just sitting in an empty mansion, and then Jeanie fills it back up. Like, isn't she rich enough to hire a search firm or anything like that? But
or some recruiters.
Yeah, but regardless, Rob's still on the team. He's still holding a role with the Lakers. So is Luke. But that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother episode. We're just like, Luke is just on the side. I bet you he's having a blast right now, not being in the center of all of this shit. He
probably doesn't have a care in the world.
He's got a job still. What the hell?
I know. He's still collecting a check.
But Luke, smoothest dude out. He's been the calmest under the pressure. But I'm just going to get right to it. I think Rob Pelinka is Evelyn Salt in all of this. He is undercover, playing his role, being a sleeper cell, and now that he has back channeled his way into quote unquote backstabbing Magic and calling into the halls, "Where's Magic? Where's Magic?" and getting him out the door, it seems like his role is only going to grow. Jonathan, where does Rob Pelinka's employment with the Lakers still land with you, and what do you think is actually going to transpire from him still having his job?
So I want to say first off that I'm scared as hell, but I also want to. I also want to. I also want to say though that him still being in office actually right now, as of today, like a day after all that shit hit the fan, does not concern me. It'll concern me if a week or two from now we're not hearing of any rumblings of a search going on, because if anybody is familiar with what happens when restructuring happens up top or a company gets acquired, and I've been through this in acquisition, when a president steps down and, you know, like a bigger studio or a bigger company takes over, the heads of each department are not necessarily eviscerated the next day. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be business as usual till everybody can get their papers in order. And can you imagine if Rob Pelinka was fired? Who the hell is going to, I know they have staff there like Ryan West and Jesse Buss, but still, like, Rob Pelinka was still the general manager. He still had plans, you know? If you fire that guy after day one of Magic Johnson stepping down, then you're left with Jeanie Buss up top. That doesn't comfort me. So for him to still be in office, that doesn't concern me. It'll concern me down the road, right? And with regards to what I think of Rob Pelinka and, you know, you calling him Evelyn Salt, you know, I sort of feel the same way in terms of him just being this slimy, two-faced sort of dude. My own analogy for Rob Pelinka, my own analogy for Rob Pelinka is he reminds me of a prosperity gospel preacher.
3 a.m. on BET. Yes, I know them well.
Where all they care about is outward appearance and what sounds right to the people. But when you really look at their life, they don't really follow through action. And there's a lot of deception involved there. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, when Rob Pelinka first took office, man, I was buying everything he was saying. Maybe not necessarily all the random, like, manna from heaven, biblical verses and whatnot, but he seemed like he was taking us down a route that we had always wanted to go in, you know, innovation, being forward thinking. And then you just see what goes on and you're trading Zubats for nobody. And you're like, that's not innovation. That's just, you just lost your goddamn mind. Yeah. So yeah, to answer your question succinctly, I'm not worried right now because Rob Pelinka just by default has to be there. He has to go. He has to still lay out the plans. And then I think what'll happen is once Jeanie finds the president of basketball operations and puts that guy into office, that guy then has the power to fire Rob Pelinka, I hope. Obviously, Magic Johnson tried to do that. Didn't work out. The biggest concern right now is how intrinsically tied are Jeanie and Rob, right? Because if she wouldn't let Magic do that, then is she going to hire a president of basketball operations that's okay with Rob Pelinka maintaining that general manager position?
Or has she picked it? Or has she already made up her mind?
Yeah, or has she already made up her mind? So in that sense, I'm very scared of what's about to come. One would hope that all the media backlash would get to Jeanie and she can Magic sort of did her a favor and she's able to take a step back for a little bit and say, okay, maybe I need to rethink where everything's going here. Because initially this plan was still to have Magic and Johnson Magic and Johnson, Magic and Rob Pelinka paired together. But now that Magic, you know, stepped down, now it's just Rob. I really have to assess my options and see whether or not Rob can do this job by himself and with whoever I pick as president of basketball operations. So it's a tricky situation, but right now, I don't know. I'm just
it's kind of a weird time at this point. Like, as you were saying, you know, they're not going to fire him right away, like how normal businesses ran, because they got to find their staff. Maybe the next person they hire actually does like Rob Pelinka, like his ideas. But he is very lucky. It's the end of his season right now, and there's no playoffs for the Lakers. That's all I got to say. And the Lakers are actually very lucky that's the case too, because, you know, you can make a fire when the season's over and then plan around that. But this is supposed to be one of our biggest summers, man. This is supposed to be
exactly,
which is crazy to me to think that Magic Johnson, with all his plans laid out, leaves right before the potential quote unquote biggest summer where we're back. So
what does that tell you, Danny? What does that tell you? There wasn't shit behind door number 3. There wasn't shit behind door number 2.
So you're saying we should?
LeBron was behind door number 1, and then you know what? That was the end of the road. We were supposed to come out and get another star this summer. Back. Remember, they came out, another report came out. I mean, Bucher, I was watching this live. I guess when he announced his adding to the FS1 family, he decided to save all of his, scoops or hot takes for this one show. But he also said that when asking, when Howard asked Bucher if who's going to run the Lakers next, and he said that if Pelinka can get Kawhi, it's going to be Pelinka. Wait, hold up. Oh, what? I gotta connect some dots right here. That means Pelinka's gonna be around for free agency. And Jonathan, you had touched on this before.
We're gonna have 4 extra months of Rob Pelinka from now to August.
So it makes sense in the fact that you gotta have someone around to make this. You don't want to rush and hire someone and have them in charge of pitching the free agents. Or do you just say fuck it and punt it all and be like, we're just going to take this offseason out. We're just going to do this and that. Apparently, Jeanie said, look, you go get Kawhi and you keep Kawhi off the Clippers. Yeah, you get the keys to the Ferrari, which is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Man.
And that is so dangerous. You are giving, I think he's a Russian spy. I shouldn't say a Russian spy. I don't want to cause up too many more unnecessary clicks. He's a secret agent. He is a secret. He's a sleeper cell. And I gotta ask: is Kobe the Illuminati? Is Kobe actually running all of this from way, way, way far back? No one's talking about. No one is talking about how Jeanie apparently loves and respects Kobe's opinion so much. She hired his agent, right, and wouldn't allow Magic to fire his agent. Jonathan, do you think that there is any connection that Kobe Bryant is secretly not playing Mozart and competing with your studios to try to put out some Oscars and for animation? But is Kobe actually doing some stuff with the Lakers for real?
Hey, I like the relevant connect back. DreamWorks Animation, baby, let's go. But I like that angle, very creative. And if you're to go off of Kobe Bryant's previous commercials, his "You're Welcome" Kobe System Nike commercials, yes. Illuminati all the way. But I'm gonna take it down to earth a little bit. Sorry, Ricky.
Please do.
And just say that I think the real problem here, and the real puppeteer here, unfortunately, is the real puppeteer of Jeanie is just the ghosts of Lakers past, meaning her father. And her love for Kobe Bryant, her love for Magic Johnson, her love for Rob Pelinka. This all stems from the legacy that her father left that she's trying to live up to right now. And that's dictating and informing every decision that she makes. Luke Walton's the coach. Byron Scott was previously the coach. Yada, yada, so on and so forth. So for me, if there's any Illuminati or any one controlling power, it's just the sins of the past, not the sins of the past, the greatness of the past that she's trying to catch up to, instead of kind of just forging her own. And if she really followed her dad's footsteps, she would know that it's okay to go off the beaten path, And unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves at, just her being controlled by what she's always known. And the ghost of her dad, essentially. And that's why she's so tied to all these guys. Yeah.
It's tough to break that mold. It's tough to break the things that you are instilled at a young age. I mean, your dad's, Dr. Jerry Buss, come on, he's the greatest owner of all sports. And arguably, I mean, I think he is. But it's tough to create your own path when all you know is the way your dad did it. Well, my dad would have done this, or, Dr. Buss would have done this. You have to create your own path. And the way when they pass down the keys to you, yes, you still are running the Lakers. You're still having this your baby, but you could still raise it in your way where you still feel like it's going to be great. You don't always have to look at others and the way they did it. Because if you keep doing that, it's just going to be repeats of the past. If you're going to keep hiring former Lakers to do this, you're still going to have this whole Laker family thing. But if they don't know what they're doing or it's not going to work, ultimately we're going to fail. The Lakers are going to fail if that happens, and that keeps going.
Can I jump in and say something real quick? And Absolutely. This may be actually, Ricky, did you have a segment that you wanted to turn this over to? But I just wanted to talk about what I think went into Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka's calculus when they took on these two jobs.
Please do.
I think it's very, very clear that when they took on these positions, they had a pretty good inkling that they would get Paul George and LeBron James. This is taking it way back, okay? But I think Paul George ruined the Lakers in more ways than he knows, than any of us know. Because I think Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka were just going to throw up their feet and say, and kind of fall ass backwards into success. Their success was almost teed up for them because I think they were holding on to, we're about to get Paul George and LeBron James. And then all of a sudden, Paul George threw a wrench into those plans, and they were like, oh my God, does LeBron still want to come? Okay, Hugh, LeBron James still wants to come. But really, these guys, I don't think they had that intricate of a plan outside of we're getting PG and LeBron, right? That's why they cleared that cap space and traded D'Angelo Russell. And when that fell apart, all of a sudden, they don't have as many contingency plans and Rubik's Cubes plans as Rob Pelinka makes it seem like they do.
Goddamn Rubik's Cubes. I'm never playing with a Rubik's Cube again in my life.
And I feel like when you're alluding to Paul George, I actually had a source that worked for Paul George's agency. It was CAA. And once Paul George heard about the heavy pursuit of LeBron and he didn't want to deal with Clutch Sports, that's kind of the separation between Paul George and coming to LA. I don't think it was the fact of the front office and then him not wanting to join the Lakers. I think he just didn't want to deal with Clutch. But to your point, once we didn't get Paul George and it was just LeBron, what was going to happen next? I want to know what their backup plan was, what their true backup plan was.
What, you're looking at it. Magic said, I'm out. What do you mean backup plan? If plan A don't work, I'll give up on Magic Johnson's studio.
And I'm talking about the summer when we got LeBron.
Oh, what was the backup plan if LeBron didn't come?
No. If we didn't get Paul George and LeBron. You know what I mean? Because it was supposed to be that plan. PG, LeBron, they're going to come to LA. PG doesn't come. Maybe it is the CAA thing with the Clutch, or maybe it is what Jonathan's alluding to. But what were Magic and Rob's backup plan then?
I think that's when they turned to Rich Paul and was like, "Hey, can you help us out, Anthony Davis? That's the backup plan. All right, we've got assets at least. Let's try and do this." We saw their backup plan and it failed. And I think, well, actually, that's not too true. I think when Paul George was out of the picture, then it turned to Kawhi Leonard really quickly, right? And then we found out, oh, the Spurs are never going to do this.
Never going to do a deal with the Lakers. Yeah. That's like doing a deal with the devil, right?
Yeah. And all of their missteps stem from the fact, too, that they're just so blatant about everything that they do that they just end up pissing people off. And that includes the Spurs, because I think the first reports out were that, I think even Stephen A. Smith was reporting this at the time, that Kawhi Leonard is even willing to sit out the season if he's not traded to the Lakers. What happened to those reports all of a sudden? But I don't know.
That they came and went so quickly, right? I do remember that at first because it was Lakers 1, and then for like maybe 24 to 48 hours, then it went Lakers 2. Then I was like, he's not really too crazy about possibly teaming up with LeBron. It's like, okay, screw us, right? But that's crazy. So really, Jonathan, what you're saying is Aaron Mintz is the Illuminati.
Maybe if we want to tie it back, sure.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down, man. I'm glad that we're right here on this. Somebody is pulling some strings from high up. But you're absolutely right. Once the Magic and Rob decided that they are going to take the route of we're going to do the show more than the work because we think that this is lined up for us. There are quick things when I think of this front office that come to mind now just to describe them. I would think of arrogance, laziness, and entitlement. And that is absolutely, in my opinion, the worst type of person that you want to work with, under, or around. Like, you don't like coming down, walking down the hall saying, "Where's Magic?" You know, that's between them two. That sets an environment for, you don't know what the hell he's saying about you. If he's cracking jokes about Magic effing Johnson in the Lakers facility, like, he doesn't care about any of this. In the reports that comes out that Rob he has a form of arrogance about him, and that he almost seems like the smart guy, and he knows he's the smart guy in the room. Again, second worst person, the smart jackass. It's like, why are you around? But to really just put a full circle bow on this, really, well, let's fire off rapid response. Do you believe, we'll start with Danny and then we'll wrap up with Jonathan. Danny, do you believe that Jeanie is going to A, keep Rob Pelinka to next season, B, fire him before free agency, or C, be named president of basketball operations?
Ricky, I'm gonna go with A. She's gonna keep him around for one more season. She's definitely gonna do it.
Is he gonna get the promotion, or is he gonna stay GM?
He's gonna stay GM.
Someone's gonna come in above him
because he's gonna have because he has to know his role at this point. And I know he has that arrogance and cockiness to him. But you're a GM and it's your first year and you do such a good job. What makes you think that the Lakers organization is going to bring you up into a presidential operations role? And you're not a big personality like Magic Johnson. I'm sorry. I don't think a lot of people have heard of Rob Pelinka before he was with Kobe Bryant. But yeah, that's my take.
Johnson, what about you? Where do you think the fate of Rob Pelinka goes into this offseason, into next year?
My mind says that Jeanie is going to fire him. My heart is telling me that she doesn't have the heart to do that. Yeah. I just can't understand why we would go into the most important offseason since the LeBron James offseason this way. I almost hope, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with Dan that it's probably not likely that Rob Pelinka gets ousted anytime soon. But I'm just hoping that the events of yesterday and just her hearing all the backlash and pretty much Lakers Twitter forming a change.org, hashtag fire Rob Pelinka.
That was amazing.
That somehow that's reaching her, and that all of a sudden she gets hypersensitive to that. And she's like, okay, no, actually, I need to do my due diligence here. Bob Myers, David Griffin, whoever, I will give them full control. I will give them the control that I did not give Magic Johnson. And Magic Johnson showed her what he was going to do with that. I'm out, So I think just the way that things sort of unraveled, I'm hoping that that's a quick lesson learned for her. And she's like, oh my God, Magic Johnson just straight up and left.
Used and abused my father's franchise.
Exactly. And he did that because I didn't give him the power to do what I said I would give him. So in that sense, maybe she's hopefully taking a step back, looking herself in the mirror and saying, okay, whoever I hire for president of basketball operations, I'm going to give him full power, and I'm not going to stand in the way of that or intimate to that person that I'll feel bad if you do. You have power, but I'll feel bad if you do this. I just want you to know where I'm coming from, because I feel like that's what she did with Magic Johnson. Oh, I'll give you the power to fire Luke, but I just want you to know I'll be so sad if you do. It's like, what? That's not really giving the dude power.
This real life contradicting, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm at a point now where there was a point today. I was actually thinking to myself, I was like, would it be the worst thing if Rob actually did just take over the Lakers? Like, I know a lot of people hate him, but what if he can convince Kawhi to come over? What if he's like the evil villain, right? What if he's LeBron Miami years or something like that? Then I'm like, dog, this is his first time at this. They hate him. They are leaving him on red with notifications on, with read receipts on. There is nothing about this that says this is going to be good if he stays. RJ, she's attractive. Still, she's crazy as hell. Walk away. All signs say walk away. Jeanie, yes, he looks like Rob Lowe. Yes, he is Kobe's right-hand man. Yes, we know you love Kobe. Jeannie, walk away, please. From the bottom of Lakers Nation hearts, if we have to continue this hashtag Fire Rob Pelinka campaign so that it reaches you, I'm even more concerned then that this is what's going to happen in the future of our franchise. If that's what it takes for you to respond, Miss Buss, maybe selling the team might be in the best interest, but I don't want to. I don't want to go. I don't want to think about that life. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do any of that.
Hey, Ricky,
we're gonna,
really quickly. I just want to turn things to like a positive light because I do think there are some nuggets here that we can sort of latch onto, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
please enlighten me.
Yeah, please enlighten me.
Look, at the end of the day, yes, Rob Pelinka being there sucks, and them just honestly not having a structure up top, which I've read somewhere that Jeannie needs to reevaluate the structure or lack thereof, and that really concerns me that she doesn't even have the hierarchy set straight. And you can see if that's really the case, then it's so easy to see why Magic was unpleased, why Rob was unpleased, because their roles were probably not clearly defined, and they were promised certain things, and they weren't fulfilled. You know, you can see where the disconnect is. But anyways, even with all that going on, at the end of the day, what gives me some hope, and I know obviously Magic Johnson taking a step down, there's a lot of speculation that means like he doesn't want to go through this offseason and fail again. And from Magic Johnson's end, the biggest look from this end, I can empathize and sympathize with him just because he is the face of the Los Angeles Lakers, right? He's essentially our figurehead.
Yep.
And anything he does right, getting LeBron, obviously he'll get the credit for. But unfortunately, anything that we do wrong, and it might even be Rob Pelinka's moves, which I've heard that he's the one who actually pulled off the Zubats trade, guess who's going to get blamed for it? It's going to be Majinka, but really Magic Johnson is going to get blamed for it, right? People are going to
figurehead. Yep.
He's the figurehead, and people will
of course
make fun of his Perd Hapley tendencies and just how inept he is and how naive he is. Rob Pelinka will get the brunt of it, Magic Johnson will get the brunt of it, right? So I can see from his end, he's like, yo, I wasn't even given all the power to make these decisions, and I even had some decisions stepped over. But I'm going to get blamed for everything that goes wrong. Are you kidding me? I'm here to recruit these guys. I just signed on to be that dude at the end of the table when it comes time to pitch these guys. And you told me that I had the power to make some decisions. And when I do, some of them don't even go through. Bingo. And then one of them, and then the moves that absolutely fail, you're telling me I'm going to get all the blame? I'm leaving, right? So you can see how all of this fell apart so quickly and why Magic Johnson wanted out. So super convoluted, and having all that being said, at the end of the day, we have LeBron James, and who's going to be the real recruiter here this offseason anyways? Magic Johnson was going to be a huge part of it, but I am sure LeBron James is texting and calling everybody on his new banana boat.
Yes.
Right now. The season's done.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if Kawhi Leonard's in the playoffs. LeBron James is giving him tips right now on how to guard this dude. You know, so... Yeah. And the other thing is LeBron James has a sense of urgency now.
Does he?
After what happened this season. I feel like he doesn't. And I think the comments that he made on Spectrum Sportsnet, which was essentially his exit interview, led me to believe he understands the gravity of the situation. And now that Magic Johnson stepped down, it's like all the eyes of LA kind of turned to LeBron James. And we're like, because he's going to get the brunt of the criticism now, too. Magic Johnson's not even there to take the hits, right?
It was 50-50 before between LeBron and Magic. And now it's LeBron, no. You're the face of this the shit show right now.
Yeah.
So it's great that if we had in this dire times in Lakerland, at least we have a top 3 player, if not still the best player in the league on our roster. That being said, there has also been talks of people not, being funky with LeBron anymore these days. There is also talks that LeBron still, might be able to pull a big name free agent or two. That will be in touch with Kawhi Leonard. That's that little droplet of water. You know, in Mad Max, when they opened up that water and just came down, everybody was under waiting for it to get their little portion of water down. That's that little nugget that I needed from LeBron, that he was, you know, interested in doing some big time stuff by bringing someone over. I'm with that. In my magical land of roses and daisies, there is a Kawhi Leonard and an Anthony Davis on the Lakers next year. I put that at a 1.1% chance, but that is still an option because LeBron James is on the roster, to your point. Danny, are you feeling that optimistic ray of sunshine that Jonathan is opening up the window for us? Or no?
I hope so. I mean, the only place we can go from here is up. That's my biggest thing. No matter how gloomy
it's looking,
yes, because
there is more. There is a bottom. There's still more down to go. LeBron can ask for a trade.
Okay, but at that point,
no, you would like that. You would actually.
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to get into that. But at this point, it's like, okay, what can we hope for? Okay, if Rob's still going to be there. We still have to go through an offseason with him. If he pulls off some kind of moves, I'm hearing we're only going to get Kemba Walker and maybe some other, Kemba type star, like a Tobias Harris type free agent. If that happens, it's like, oh, here we go again. If we make moves and we get Kawhi and pull off a Klay Thompson, oh man, it will just be rejoice. And I think we forget about a majority of these things. But if our offseason just doesn't even go away, it's just going to be a continuation. It's going to be more drama that's coming out. Because when things get worse, misery needs company and more things will come out. But I have another thing that we can look forward to. I mean, if we get the number 1 pick in the draft lottery.
Man, that would absolutely be something. And I would still be scared shitless that we would make impulsive decision and make the wrong decision. So, John, I really appreciate you doing that ray of sunshine. Danny, keep going.
Oh, sure. I was just gonna say the only place you can go up from here is up. The only place we can go from here is up, guys. I don't think we can get any lower.
I like that.
Y'all can believe that, but if you listening to Ricky, trust me, there is still more chambers of hell to this where we are right now.
Ricky, what aren't you like the optimist of this and I'm the realist when it comes to things like this? Are we flipping roles here?
Dog, it is 112 degrees in the room that I'm in right now. The Lakers are in hell. Like I want to keep being glass half full, and even when the kid knocks over the glass, but right now I am scrapping for silver linings in all this. And right now, the biggest silver lining that I'm seeing circulate, and that I've seen Jonathan touched on, and I heard you touched on, is that now that what if the biggest cancer to the Lakers' problems was Magic Johnson? We're cutting out stuff right now to try to find an issue. Magic purged himself of the Lakers, entity, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see if we're gonna get better. But at the same time, there's still a general manager that is part of the problem. How much? That story is TBD, right? And then there's still a head coach that still, for the on-court success, shares some of that responsibility too. So while, yes, we could be on our way up and on our way to recovery, I still need to know if we have a couple more viruses left. So I'm cautiously stepping into these next few weeks. But I think that's probably going to wrap it up for us, guys. Jonathan, again, thank you so much for hopping on our show.
Stopping by, Jonathan. Appreciate
it. You're our first guest on the Late Night Lake Show. That's going down in the history books. Like I said, Jonathan's my guy. He's been showing a lot of love to the Late Night Lake Show, and specifically really just helping me out with a lot of pointers. So, man,
it's easy, man. It's easy.
Appreciate you.
Jonathan, you're always welcome, man. The door is always open for you, bud.
Oh, thank you, man. I feel like we keep going. There's so much to talk about. I'm just like starting to hit a stride here.
Okay. Quick question before you go.
Yeah.
We take off. Higher chances, Luke Walton coaching the Lakers or the Sacramento Kings next year?
Oh, we haven't even touched upon that.
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Dave Yeager. Sorry, you said higher chances that Luke coaches the Lakers or the Kings?
Yes.
Right now, I'm going to say Luke Walton has a higher chance to coach the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, oh Lord.
I think changes need to happen.
Vlade Divac. Thank Vlade Divac for that.
I know, that was insane.
I'm with that. I'm cool with that. You know what? The Kings seem to be okay with taking the reins of biggest shit show in town. It just, you know, this is what they do. This is their best season that they had since what, 05, 06, and then they clean house. Like, I don't care how much you disagree, like, with your head coach. Like, yeah, I guess, like, the same thing with Mark Jackson and Golden State ownership. They went to the playoffs and then you fire them. But I don't think this is like they're a budding Golden State and they're a coach away.
But there's no Steve Kerr that's coming through those doors.
Hey, man, you put some respect on 350 win percentage. Luke Walton came here to show the offense. He's an offensive guru. Lakers rank middle of the pack in offensive rating and offensive efficiency. Who wouldn't want that, dude? I wish Luke Walton the best of luck. I pray that his next job is not in the NBA, solely for the fact that if he fails again, he'll never touch the NBA again as far as a head coach. He goes down to Arizona and takes over that program and just, like, you know, be a college coach. Do that. You're still in your late 30s. You got time, man. Don't come back up to the big wolves because they gonna eat you alive. You're a people person. Don't nobody care about people. They care about you being able to run a substitution pattern that doesn't borderline on insanity. That's what we care about. Like,
hey, Luke Walton's. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm babbling. Go.
No, I was gonna say Luke Walton's last lifeline is if he totally U-hauls his assistant coaching staff or his coaching staff in general, which they gave him the opportunity to do supposedly, and he didn't do that. I think he has a chance to stay on because Jeanie loves stability if he's able to surround himself with the right counsel. Because at the end of the day, Luke Walton, in terms of being a player's coach and how he deals with people, is a very good coach in that respect. He's almost like Steve Kerr, but Steve Kerr knew how to surround himself with Alvin Gentry, like a defensive coordinator, God, even a shooting coach, you know, but Luke Walton has failed to do that because he's doing exactly what Jeanie Buss is doing and hiring all of his buddies.
And I've said it time and time before. Right now, at best, Luke Walton should be an assistant coach. And I'm sorry to say that. In the NBA, I'm sorry to say that. I think he honestly is, because when he took over with Golden State, they had the team in place. You, Ricky, and myself could have coached that Golden State team and got them to 65 to 73 wins. I'll tell you that right now. But Luke Walton, in all respect, he is a very personable person with the players. He can connect with them very well. That's a great skill to have. But is he a head coach like Steve Kerr? No, not right now. I think he really needs to develop that. And if he gets a really high up assistant coaching position with a really good franchise, he can develop that and learn that.
Yep, agree.
Oh man, you just had to sneak in some Luke Walton talk. He's gone. At least I pray this is the end, and I don't have to talk about Luke. I hate talking about Luke Walton like I hate talking about the NBA or NCAA draft prospects. I just
I don't know why you hate that.
That's fine.
I would rather talk about that right now, to be honest with you.
And like we have what, a top 12 pick. I don't even know what pick we have right now, but we could be talking about the pick that we're keeping or probably going to trade, right? That Jonathan, we were breaking down together, but this is when the Lakers had kind of a higher pick of the value of trading that pick versus keeping it. I was under the impression that I don't care what prospect they are targeting for the Lakers. I think they're going to trade it. And you had brought up some pretty good points that, you know, with cap ramifications is really the point of trading that pick worth whatever player that you're getting back. Hell, at this point, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should go into draftexpress.com and find out who's going to be, you know, my starting point guard or starting 3 guard in right. Is that still the site, right? Draft Express, right?
ESPN. Well, they were bought by ESPN, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I use a few different ones, but yeah, go ahead, Ricky. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that, you know, maybe I should start investing in it because it seems like we're at this point now. If the Lakers ended up trading their lottery pick this year, that would also be one of those extra doors of hell that we're just walking through. If the Lakers trade their pick this year, the Lakers are continuing to make bad decisions. So I'm terrified.
They got to hold their horses. They got to hold their horses, Ricky, is essentially what you're saying. And I absolutely agree. Look, this is, if things even go moderately right, this is our last lottery pick in the next few years. You can't botch this up. And I'm not even saying keep it forever, but don't trade that guy on draft night when you don't even have a president of basketball operations.
Yeah, you don't have someone running the show at this point. Just
let's iron that out first and then decide, do we need to trade this guy for additional help? Let's wait till we sign a free agent or strike out on a free agent and then say, do we pivot? But please don't just trade him and Kyle Kuzma for freaking Mike Conley or something ridiculous like that, you know? So
how ridiculous would that be? Just tell me, Ricky, you're doing a little bit too much with the extraness. Would Kyle Kuzma in that pick for Mike Conley be awful?
Stop it.
I like Mike Conley.
I like Mike Conley too, but look, in the
Mike
sense
Conley's
that
30-something with a high contract. What are you doing?
Hey, look, if they get Mike Conley after they've signed someone and they cobble up some of the young pieces to do that, and actually I don't even think they can do that, because if they're able to sign somebody, then they'd have to match salary for Mike Conley, and that means you're giving away everybody. A lot of money. Yeah. If they do that on draft day, then they have essentially taken themselves out of free agency even before it started. And not only did they do that, but they gave away some assets. My preferred route at the end of the day, even in the quote unquote worst case scenario, is keep all your assets and see what you can do in free agency. Even if you're not able to get a quote unquote star, start building a team like you should have in the first place, instead of doing these one-offs like Rondo, Lance Stevenson, JaVale.
Yeah.
Pretty much what they've been doing since like Kobe was still here. Chris came in, Nick Young, Jordan Hill for another year. You know, build an actual team, because LeBron can still carry a team if you build out, if you surround him with the right pieces.
Yeah, it's true. And I think we just didn't address that at all this season. Not enough shooters. Oh, we got shooters. I just remember that magical. Oh, we got shooters. No, we don't, Magic. That's why you step down. Anyway, but I'm saying that on draft night, if we do drafts, let's say we end up with a top 6 pick, we get one of these high prospects, you can hold him until the end of free agency and still see what you can do with him. That's honestly ideal. If you pair him up with our young core, still have LeBron, we get a mid-level, not like a top-tier superstar, but you get like an all-star type guy, we'll make the playoffs at that point. But again, don't just give up all your eggs, for in your basket for someone you potentially might not get. You know what I mean? And then during next season, if we're trying to pursue Anthony Davis again through trade talks in the middle of the season, it's going to be such a mess. I don't even know. Oh, God, I don't even want to think about that.
So here's the thing I just want to add really quickly. If the Lakers do a good job, they need to start playing money ball if they strike out, If they do a good job of actually...
guys,
and if they do a good job signing guys, solid players, to respectable contracts that only last for 2 to 3 years, guess what? You can trade those guys again and package them again down the road. So you're not you're not shackled to these things. I know people think that when you strike out, that's it for us. No, just sign good players who can help you out now, but also give you options in the future. But also, once you give out multi-year deals, that's when you get actually good guys who want to stay there, because they know at some level, I don't know if they know that they'll be secure with LeBron James and Rich Paul here, but at some level, they're like, at least I'm getting a multi-year deal, even if they trade me. It's not just this 1 year thing.
That's the flip of it too.
Yeah.
That value other teams with the player that's not expiring, you get a little bit more if they have another year on their deal, right? You sign a young guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like real estate, right? You buy it low, you sell it high.
Exactly.
So I love it. I think that should be the plan. But Jonathan, the Lakers have told us that they either only go for superstars or the bottom barrel free agents. Yes, absolutely. They need to start making those smart chess moves and not just playing like checkers. But up until this day, I do not see any grandmasters coming to the table. Oh, wait, I forgot. GD thinks it's Rob Pelinka. We're going to have to either will him out or will him up, because if he's not going anywhere, we're going to have to start rooting for the bad guy. And it's sickening, but we're going to have to then, if Jeanie decides that Rob's going to stay through free agency, he's going to control the draft and all this while we look for a search, or while we do a search firm to bring in a president of basketball operations. Now we almost have to think everything that we don't believe in Rob and pray that he could actually make those smart decisions. And that's not the side of the fence that I want to be on, fellas. So
I agree with you. And at that point, I'm almost hoping that LeBron James and Rich Paul take over, pull some strings, and get somebody in here. You know, it's like, what's the lesser of three evils right now? Jeanie Buss, Rob Pelinka, or LeBron James and Clutch?
That's where we're at. That is 100% where we're at right now. Like, we have all three evil stepsisters in the room, and we just got to go figure out who.
It's like, who's the nicest one out of the three?
Yeah,
it's literally struggling. Like that.
Or if Jeanie somehow comes to some revelation here or enlightenment, and has an epiphany and actually hires a Bob Myers and gives him control. Obviously, that is a pie in the sky right now based off everything that she's done. But if she actually does that, then, man, we're going to be in such great shape. But that's just like probably right now the 1%, and you can't really cling on to that, right? You have to expect the worst at this point.
I would kill for Bob Myers. I would literally kill.
He went to UCLA. Man. He's from Los Angeles.
It's literally
apparently more than just a rumor. So, look, she needs to pay up. we can poach these guys if we really want to. We're the freaking Los Angeles Lakers, you know?
Then why don't we have the best analytics department? You know, why don't we have the best? Like, I think I saw a report about the Milwaukee Bucks. Their bench seats are adjustable per player. So when they sit down, it levels out the seat so they have perfect alignment. Why in God's green earth does the premier franchise in almost all of North American sports not have some adjustable goddamn seats? Like, why are we so behind just on like on the basic stuff of what greatness and being a great franchise and organization's all about? We're missing those pieces. Like, obviously, it's more than comfy couches. It's more than analytics department. It's all of the above. And that we just need a Bob Myers to leave his comfortable position and billion-dollar stadium that he's going to help open up to come and clean up the shit that, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Theo Epstein leaving the Boston Red Sox and taking over the Cubs. The only difference is he didn't leave Boston after they won the World Series. They were down for a couple of years after that, and then his contract expired. Then he went to go revitalize the Cubs. Yeah. Bob Myers, unless Jeanie is going to literally bring the Brinks truck, and I don't even think a Brinks truck would hold what he would need to make to his doorstep, I don't see it. I love that it's more than a rumor, apparently, but man, we're just go do the whole thing. Go hire, I don't know, man. Go hire Olivia Pope and whoever her search firm and bring in some young, aggressive, smart, forward-thinking president of basketball operations. Let's just get better, please. Or get rid of the team, Jeanie. I just talked about this earlier. Or give up. I'm sorry.
One last positive point. Magic Johnson.
I love the balance.
Magic Johnson, because he's no longer working for the Lakers, can now actually tamper if he wants to. He can reach out to all of these guys, and he's not going to be culpable for it because he doesn't work for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I feel like at this point, it's almost like Jeanie should tell Magic, hey, you owe me one for this. So at these pitch meetings, because the players still respond to Magic Johnson as
execs do too. They only answer to him.
Right. So I think this offseason, if they want him to be part of those pitch meetings, he'll do that. And that's essentially his role with the Lakers. I just think he overstepped his bounds thinking he could still do the same things he was doing as not an employee of the Lakers as an employee. And that's when it becomes tampering, right? But now that he's no longer, he's removed from the Lakers organization, he can text and tweet and DM Kawhi Leonard, whoever he wants to, right? He can sell the Lakers that way. And that was his primary value to the Lakers anyways. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So if they want to go that route, they should go that route. If Rob Pelinka wants to bring in Kobe Bryant to these pitch meetings, please do. You know, players will respond to Kobe and Magic Johnson. And yeah, I just hope Jeannie's like, okay, you owe me for that bullshit that she pulled off at the end of the season. So pay it forward. Even if it's not him going to the pitch meetings, you know, it's just like recruit these players on the side.
Jeannie went up to Magic and said, Magic, check this out. This is what we're going to do right here. You're going to step down, right? Because I'm tired of getting fined all that because of your crap, right? You want to be happy, go lucky. We're not going to get fined no more, man. So we're going to relieve you of your duties. You could go be free as a bird. I'm like a bird. You could go do all that, right? But we're going to need you to show up. And we're going to need you to start shaking hands and kissing babies in the way only you know how. Because they're not going to run my pocketbooks anymore, Magic. I like that, Jonathan. See, that's why we bring you on the show. Stuff like that. That's why the Illuminati. Thank you.
You are the advisor to the Late Night Lake Show, just how Jerry West should have been the advisor to the Lakers. Anyway, but Magic is a big personality and a big face that everybody likes to look at and listen to because he has that smile, he has that charm. He could use this to his advantage, but let's see how it works. It's such a mystery. There's so many drama that's going to occur during the summer. This is going to be one interesting summer. And this
is the most crucial, pivotal moment because we have a chance to We have a clean slate, chance to clean house and determine the direction of our franchise moving forward and how to surround LeBron with not only the right personnel on the court, but up top as well. And if we botch this, it's not going to ruin LeBron's legacy. It's going to ruin his Lakers legacy, you know, with this team and this franchise. And I believe him when he says he wants his jersey in the rafters. But what if the Lakers unintentionally just turn him into Dwight Howard because of their ineptitude?
You went there.
Ugh,
you absolutely just went there.
Don't do that.
You know what? We really enjoyed having you on the show, Jonathan. But I think at this point,
you just crossed the line. But
yeah, I think you brought up Dwight's name and then you compared him to LeBron. But no, you're absolutely right.
The Lakers could make him that, not by his power, but they could turn him into that villain. You know, so
Lakers could ruin LeBron, and he's already on thin ice with the franchise, the fan base anyway. Heavy. Well, we're going to take that and we're going to go nibble on that off air. But once again, Jonathan Hernandez, Lakers Legacy Podcast. Thank you so much for being on the show. Danny, I got to go restock the fridge with water and graham crackers and all types of bunker food.
Yeah, I'm actually putting some more brick and mortar around my house just in case anything happens. So
same dudes. Hey, yo, Jonathan, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast. Absolutely. And as usual, it was lit.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. Late Night Lake Show Podcast. Soul, take us out.
We out.
Peace.
All right, man. Thanks, Jonathan.
Cool,
really
appreciate
it.
Thank you. Man. That was fun. Absolutely. That was fun, man. Yeah, let's do it again sometime when the dust clears.
Yeah, for real. We're labeling this the like our second iteration of like our Late Night Lake Show special report. So you will definitely have some some built up of like reporter vibes or on our advisor. You are our advisory board.
I appreciate that.
Like Magic is on Serena's advisory board. So appreciate it, man.
Hilarious. Absolutely. All right. Have a good night.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
You too. Take care.
You too.
Take care.
All right, Danny. Another one in the books, bro.
Yeah. Take care, buddy.
All right. See you.
Bye.